Hey guys.
Hello, lover.
Hello.
It is Scotch for Dummies on a Thursday night.
Man, that gets me going. I love that intro. Wakes you up,
We
gets
mosh
you in the
pit
mood.
around the bar when that's playing. But
Yeah, I look like a mosh pitter.
Yeah.
cheers, brothers.
Cheers. 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 And cheers to you.
you.
Hopefully you all can hear us. All right. We got some new mics tonight. So yeah, right. So we have a backup. So if any issues with audio, please give us a heads up and we'll switch it. But hopefully these are working great for us.
All right.
Yes, let us know if it's loud enough because technically these are as loud as they can go tonight. We'll switch it up.
First time usage.
Hey man, we're working.
All right.
Who's all online? We got a bunch of people in already,
We got a
and,
bunch of
and
people
people
in.
from all over the world. It looks like already. So
I'd
great.
love to see it.
Let us welcome them.
Oh, look, Tom R's first. Cool.
Hey Tom.
Tommy.
Good to see you.
Rich is there. Bobby H. Trooper Henry. Smoke versus smoke.
You know,
Yes.
the first three
Trooper.
people, two people, Tom and Rich, we saw them on the Patreon pre-show.
We did.
Didn't see Bob H there though.
No.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
DB. She wasn't there.
Yeah, D missed.
Alejandro wasn't there. What the heck, guys?
my
Bobby
1, 2,
J.
3, 4.
We missed Bobby J. Bobby J may have a customer.
Bobby J's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. If you become a Patreon or patron on Patreon, you get free access to or get access to the
Which
the before and after.
we are in the process of putting together a new activity for our patrons
are.
where we are going to start doing live tastings with them.
Oh,
Live tasting.
I would like to say once a month, but we'll see how it goes because we want the input on what we're actually going to acquire. So if you're a patron, be on the lookout for that. We're kind of looking for input on what do you guys want to taste.
We'll do what we can to help educate and do some fun things and activities together. So should be interesting.
Hopefully we can
All right.
find some whiskeys that are new to all of us and we can have some fun kind of exploring them together. That's
Yep.
the point.
What you got?
Jason Jasky.
Where is he? Okay.
Where is
Smokiest
Jason?
thing he has. Johnny W. Green Label.
Wow, we just had that conversation on the patron show. So we were talking about Johnny Walker, obviously, and everybody was talking about green. You know, it's the only blended malt, right?
Blended
That's
malt,
right.
yep.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's good. I like regular Johnny Walker though.
But you need something peatier. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, what do we miss?
I'm
Stuff
just
for
going down real
work,
quick,
time
make
for
sure
Graham,
Audio's good. Okay.
Uh-oh. Is
Bobby
that
J,
Gregor?
Francois, Malt Minion,
Malt
Steve
Minion.
Rogers, Jimmy T,
Yes, sir.
or
There's Chad.
Jim. Yeah, that's the problem. When I saw him here in India, I'm like, Jimmy T?
I know,
Jimmy,
because
Jimmy?
that's all we see on the
But
screen,
it's not
right?
Jimmy, yeah. Okay.
The Hoagie Man.
It's good to see you. So we saw Hogue on
Yeah, we did.
On Lee's, yeah.
on Lee's show, which we're going to talk a little bit about. Let's talk about it. Let's just start off with this. It's only 5 minutes into the show. Tuesday night, if you were not on and you didn't know about it, shame on you. We're going to try to fix that right now.
Heck yeah. Let's get
Wait, look, Stephen had a comment. I don't know if it's true, but we'll see.
Maybe it is.
But let me know. The
Is
video's
it
lagging.
me or is it just the...
Yeah, video seems a bit lagging a bit.
no.
My sync is weird too. All right.
Do we need to
Uh-oh.
switch mics and see if it comes back?
Let us switch mics real quick and see if that changes it. You guys let us know in
All
30
right.
seconds from now.
You can change it like that.
Just like
Change it just like this. Where's the road mic?
Right up.
Right there?
That's it.
There.
Boom.
Boom.
Done.
Now
all
we're
right, check 1, 2.
back to the old faithful.
Now we're on that mic, not these. So
All
let
right,
us know if that works. But in the meantime, let's talk about our friend Leanne. Scotch and the Bayou. If you didn't know about Scotch and the Bayou, she just celebrated her 1-year anniversary on
Yep.
YouTube. And she's had a hell of a year, right?
Yeah, she kicks off the channel and immediately floods the camp.
Right.
The camp floods.
So she's been busy, but she's been making a lot of progress. She puts out incredible content. She's got a great personality, character. Everything is awesome. Her palate knows her experience. She's been to wonderful Scotland.
Twice.
She's got more contacts over there than we do. That by a long
For
shot.
sure.
She's wonderful. So if you are not subscribed to Scotch and the Bayou,
She is at
Go do it.
859 subscribers. Let's get her over 1,000.
come
Let's make it
on.
happen tonight.
This can
By-
happen.
By the way, I was at in that
You were
Bayou
just there.
You were there last weekend, right?
Friday. And I recognize that exact picture. It's not quite as green as it is in this picture, but I was there. I think I have a picture on my phone.
So on Tuesday, she celebrated her 1 year. She had an anniversary on her live show. She invited us on. She's ironically been a part of our show since almost the beginning. She was one of
Yeah,
our first
pretty
subscribers,
much.
really. And so she's been a friend of our show, a subscriber, a patron, and honestly turned into family. And now she's got her own show. And So she had us on because we were a part of, we've been, with her and she's been with us for so long, but we had a good time.
Yep.
I can hang out with Leanne. She's my older sister. I mean,
She stumped us with it was a Virginia distillery bottle. Stumped us with a mystery dram. So we went through and tasted it. We're like, it seems like it kind of old.
I felt like it was a setup from the gate. I'm telling you, I didn't feel right about that. My spidey senses, my Scotch senses were going off.
Yeah, we've been busted too many times that we get the hair on the neck raises when you think, here, try this whiskey. I'm like, spidey sense goes off.
Yeah,
Something's off.
There's trickery about.
Yes,
Yeah.
tomfoolery.
There's trickery.
Something is afoot at the Circle K.
Yeah.
But that was
got the audio back. So
anyway.
I don't know if it was this or not. I've seen sync issues before, so now it's better. So
we can switch back.
We'll switch back in a little while here
Yeah.
and see what happens. We're gonna stick with it right now so we can keep going. But yeah, so make sure if you haven't, let's give Lee a couple times and then we'll give her some shout outs. I want to get her over to 1,000. That'd be great. She is doing some wonderful stuff, and I am still so jealous of you being there last weekend. And you just had a great time.
Yeah, so we got down there on a Friday midday. We went out to the camp and had a little, cheese and crackers before we went out on the boat. Got Mark, her husband, went out and got the boat, and he brought it up to the dock. We walked. It's a pretty long walk from the camp to the actual dock. There's a path to it, or pier to it. Got on the boat. The weather was about 70 degrees and sunny.
Pictures looked beautiful.
And the weather was great. And we just took off and we just drove around the bayou and just, we're looking for gators and we were looking for other wildlife. And we saw so we were out there on the water for about 2.5 hours. Ended up seeing about 24 gators, everywhere from 3 feet long to 12 feet long.
That one was a monster.
Oh my
that
gosh.
picture, it's a dinosaur, man.
Yeah. we were cruising through this one part of the bayou, and there are a couple bald eagles circling overhead. And then we're on the way back, I think, and we saw this big hawk-looking creature fly over. It's like, oh, that's an osprey. So it flew right over the boat, down the water path, and then stopped and hit the water. And flew up with a fish, and some heron came in saying, "Hey, this is my area," but didn't mess with the osprey.
I'm out of here.
And then the osprey flew back over the boat with blood dripping off the fish. I'm like, that's nature.
You need a narrator. What's that guy that narrates? Blue
Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom. Yeah, it was amazing, and we saw other birds and every heron you can think of, and egrets and. Just crazy amount. It was just a great time. And we weren't drinking on the boat. We were just having a good time out there, just talking and watching it was just a good time.
But then you went back to the camp and had some good whiskey.
We did have some drink. So this little camp in the middle of Bayou has some great whiskey in it.
Right.
We actually,
the best stocked.
yeah, we had a Highland Park and I don't forget all we had. But then we went back to our house. And that's where she got the big stock. So it was a good time.
See, time for Gregor says that there's still sync issues.
Yeah, so here's the other thing and I can tell you that I've been working with StreamYard because our video quality has been not great for how long, guys? A year?
Long time.
And they actually put us on a new codec for HD. I'm wondering if that's causing, because I switched back and forth and it's still, you guys are still saying we have sync issues. So
right,
I don't know that there's anything I can do. So I apologize, but let's just try to get through tonight and
yeah, maybe use a really small video so it doesn't matter as much. Just listen to us. Let's talk to us. We're talking.
Just close your browser and listen to us, I guess. Maybe you won't get so trippy.
And I saw a comment. It was
Jason's
Swamp
right.
People. So I think it was everyone put a comment on. So apparently we're Swamp People, where Troy and everybody do their Swamp People video is like 12 miles south of where we were. I mean, that is Gator Bayou area.
And
absolutely.
I hope he doesn't come by and kill that
there
woman.
She is.
He's on
too. Thanks, Lee. It was fun to be on your show.
Yes, so. Glad to be a part of the year. Thanks for having us.
Yep.
You had the pictures were great. The weather looked awesome. The company was great. The whiskey was good. Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm envious that you made it down. So good for you. But remember, go over Scotch in the Bayou. Check it out.
Yep.
What do we got going on here? We've got another King of the Hill tonight. If you're not familiar with King of the Hill, what we're doing, it's basically a battle royale, mano y mano. One of these whiskeys is the current King of the Hill in this category, which is peated. We try to match them up similar whiskeys. Laphroaig is the current king right now.
Yep.
Laphroaig has taken down Ardbeg 10 to retain the belt, if you will. Talisker 10, albeit I could argue whether it's a good match or a bad match. This actually was suggested by you, the viewer. We were open for suggestions on who thinks the next bottle should take on the champ, if you will. We have multiple Kings of the Hills depending on the categories. This is the peated category. We have a sherry bomb category. We've got
Who's
an
the winner of
Irish
the sherry
category
right now? Who's winning that one?
Tamdu.
my
Tamdu
God.
beat Glendrone
10
at
to
12.
10, yeah. 10 to 12, yeah.
Yeah.
So the key about this is we tried to set the King of the Hill to be bottles that generally you can get at a Knight's Liquor or general retail store. We don't want to get all the expensive bottles you have to order online, things like that. We try to get them, and this is focused primarily in the U.S. So, yeah.
And albeit in any category, yes, I can name a bottle that would take down the current king. That's not
Absolutely
the point. The point is to go through these on bottles that are on the shelves that are similar in profile, whether that's age, region, style, price, all that good stuff, and put them on there and go through the journey. Because really what we're doing is we're blind tasting these two. Now, yes, obviously, it's not going to be long before we know what's what, even blind, because we don't know what's in these bottles. These glasses are not matched up with the bottles. I do not know that Laphroaig is in the black glass or Talisker's in the gold. We don't. Drew poured these an hour ago.
At least.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, no idea which one's in which. We'll know when we taste them, obviously. But the point is which one do we prefer in this moment? And why do we prefer it?
Exactly. We will try and essentially, the reason we're trying to do it blind is we really want to analyze the whiskey. We don't want to talk about the brand. We don't want to talk about the price necessarily. We're just going to look directly at the whiskey, analyze it, taste it, talk about the notes we get, talk about the layer, talk about all the benefits that you have in there, and then pick a better whiskey. And so with that, that's the kind of the intent of this study.
And I'll be the first one to admit the challenge in removing my own bias is always going to be there. Obviously, there are times when there's two bottles here and I have a preference towards one right off the bat because I like that distillery more. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not the point. Remove that from the discussion and the experiment and pick the whiskey that you like the most right now, whether that be affected by what you had for dinner, what your mood is, what the weather is. I don't know. But we're going to pick a winner tonight, and we're going to go through it.
I was pretty shocked last time
I was
Laphroaig winning that battle.
It was such a more refined flavor. That was what brought it for me.
Totally went in thinking Ardbeg had it.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone in the comments said it before. I don't even need to watch this. Ardbeg's going to win. Like, there's a bunch of comments out there that said that basically, and I would thought the same thing. I think in the pre-show, everyone said the same thing, right? Even Zach called it out.
I kind of feel like we're going back to our roots of being dummies because last week we
couldn't even tell what blue was.
We picked monkey shoulder over blue.
Did you happen to see that?
Did you really?
It was shocking. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. So last week's episode, we did this price matter, which was an interesting show.
It's so good.
It was a concept that was brought to us by Alejandro, one of our patrons, and we decided to pull it off. And I actually told you the next day I didn't feel very good about the show because I was like, I felt like, we were spinning our wheels a little bit. We tried it, but at the end of the day, it seems like people are enjoying it because the concept of it actually came through. And then we kind of proved it in a sense because it's like you can't really taste.
And it was completely blind. You didn't know which was which.
No. I know. It really was. I mean, you would think we would be able to.
We thought we had it.
I got it. Nope.
Humbling.
It didn't matter because we were purposely trying not to pick it. It was hard not to, but we were trying to figure out if you could taste price, and obviously we couldn't.
And I don't want to use the word embarrassing, but humbling as it is, at the end of the day,
you've only been tasting whiskey for like 6 years, so.
What's most important is that it comes through as being very genuine. And people on that side of the camera, you're like, damn, these guys are struggling with these whiskeys, and they actually preferred this one over this. It's not contrived.
We've got a lot of comments
we didn't
that
make it up.
Do more of those, like that kind of concept. So We can look dumb, no problem. It's our name.
Been doing it for 6 years.
So
All right.
back to King of the Hill. So we've
I already got a
got
winner.
what?
I just nosed him.
You already knows them. You're cheating. You're like Sean. You're way ahead of us. So we got
Easy
two big
killer.
players here. Talisker 10. It's been a long time since I've had a Talisker.
Very long.
So this is a neck pour on this, right? This is
It is.
Yeah,
Okay.
very nice.
Yeah, it
This
is.
one's been.
but it's been in the glass for over an hour, so it's had time to air
Sure.
out. It's been almost an hour and a half. So
last time we had Talisker was
Well, let's-
probably.
Let's
a couple
talk
years
about
ago.
it. So the
That was-
challenger tonight, Talisker 10, and actually this is a new bottling of Talisker 10. The old bottling looks like this, different label,
the
actually
bottle cam?
different box.
Get a little color in the.
we do bottle cam.
Label
Give you a
now.
bottle cam to show the difference.
Oh yeah, I got one of those things.
Didn't realize that we had a bottle of Talisker 10 on the bar, so I picked up this new one right here for this challenge actually.
Right.
But so this is the new labeling that they've got out. This is the older one. But
45.8% ABV.
yeah, same juice, and nothing's changed there. It just looks like they changed up their marketing a little bit.
Okay.
They're known for being made by the sea, right? So they're just located on the island of Skye. What'd you say the ABV was?
45.8.
I think it's 45 something.
Yeah, 45.8.
Yeah. Price point on the Talisker, on the Challenger tonight, that's a Talisker 10, was $79 local. That's what I paid for it.
What
And
was total wine?
I didn't look at total wine. I just pulled the receipt from that. I thought it was salty, but I needed it.
It is salty.
You know, it was suggested by a subscriber.
Well, yeah, it was. I mean, we didn't pick this one because we thought it was. We picked it because it was suggested.
And it is available. It's out there. You shouldn't have to search too hard for it. It should be honestly readily available.
Yeah, I
But-
saw a comment that probably have E150 or some other coloring in it potentially.
Okay.
It doesn't say non-chill filtered. It doesn't say no color. So
I would expect
Maybe.
it to be chill filtered under 46,
So
right?
$65 total wine was
Okay.
listed at.
that makes more sense.
That
Yeah.
feels
It's
better.
pricey still. But
That feels better than $79.
Yep.
So that's the Challenger Talisker, 10-year-old Island of Skye. It is peated.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, the current king right now is Laphroaig 10.
Yep.
43%. So a couple percentage points lower on the alcohol. Isla,
wow, they both smell really good, actually.
this is Laphroaig's
Their core.
foundation. This
Yeah.
is their core whiskey, right? This
Yeah.
is it. Price point on this, $60, say?
I think about the same. Yeah.
Okay. So
Maybe a little
similar?
bit cheaper.
We'll see what's going on here.
All right. So let's
I love the nose in
let's,
the black.
let's start with the black. All right.
I
hit
love
the
the
black.
nose in the
What
black.
do you
I
get
haven't
on
even
the nose?
smelled it.
What do you get on the nose?
Not nearly as barbecue as that.
Yeah.
Right. That one had a lot more barbecue. Obviously,
pork-
we know what that is, but I mean that's not the point. I'm enjoying the nose tonight on that one so much. It's
Let me know.
yeah. What are you getting on the nose?
I got wood. I got a lot more wood than I anticipated.
There's some nice little bit of smoke going on in that one as well. I think.
I'm getting like ocean, brine, a little bit of sweetness underlying. Yeah, the sweetness kind of comes up when you really dig into it. But it's ethereal. I mean, it's a really light kind of. It's not like heavy and deep in that nose.
God, it is briny.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. I would almost be remiss to say that there's some kind of red fruit on the bottom of it.
Yeah, that's probably where the underlying sweetness I'm getting.
It just run like oysters. You're eating oysters on some
On the
little
beach.
on the beach somewhere.
I wish I were.
Yeah.
Damn. Paint a picture, Drew.
It's oily as well on the nose. Wow, that's nice. I
Doesn't
like that.
smell hot. I don't get any
No.
vapor burn on the nasal or anything like that. So, okay, that's black.
All right, so this has more ashiness to it, but barbecue. Yeah, it's like the inside of a smokehouse when it's done. Not when it's actively
Man, that
smoking,
sounds
but just
delicious. You just want to scrape it off and
that real fruity. sweetness
Curious
underneath
on
it,
the
too.
comments right now, if you're watching this, comment what's your favorite out of these two? If
Ooh,
you've had them
And
both.
why?
And why?
Yeah.
this one definitely has more of a burn to it, more of a black char creosote feel.
Yep.
Probably leather too.
There is something else, but I need to
Nose.
get back in there to find it. Because right now, if I'm just going on nose, I'm really liking this one
The
more
nose
than
is
that one.
much better on that one than this one.
I disagree. And this is not planned. That was the one I liked. That's it.
I know.
That's
I
the one that
noticed
wins
you said-
tonight.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens. When
Yeah,
we
so
get
This
it.
has like a it does have a creosote, but it has kind of that up front, like not menthol, but like eucalyptus or something on the nose as well. Like it's medicinal.
Boy, that is well done. So I just tasted the black. And the black, the palate, it's peaty, it's balanced, it's light, it's flavorful.
Man, I
A
just
little
got
bit of wood, a
confused
little bit of
here. I need
oak on
to-
there.
I'm not even going to drink one
But-
yet. Hang on. I got to clear.
It's really well done. It's just a great whiskey.
Wow, that's really good.
Which one are you guys drinking first?
Black. So I would say the palate on the black is better than the nose I would hit.
Oh man, that's like chocolate mousse, cream
Yeah, I can cream
with
on it.
smoky, peppery finish that lasts quite. I'm still savoring it.
Oh, that is so good.
and briny.
Yeah.
So, interestingly enough, you're probably going to think I'm batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, on the palate, one of the flavor profiles that really came forward to me was Old Bay seasoning. I feel like I'm just sitting down
Eat some
at a
crawfish?
shrimp boil. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of a spice note that's in there. It's not overpowering. Really enjoyable. I don't know if it matches the nose because the nose is salty and underlying sweet. Whereas
it's delicious.
and black's good.
So,
Okay.
so Dave Daniel says Talisker 10 is smoother. We've got Talisker over Laphroaig from Joseph. Where do we got here? We've got Talisker. Talisker for me, I like the rubber tire nose. Oh, well, here you go. Not you, not so much you. It tastes always a fine, and I always find.
So
on
Green
Laphroaig.
Valley,
Okay.
you're getting sulfur on Talisker. Interesting.
Talisker is better at lower ABV than Laphroaig. Interesting. Okay.
That's an interesting comment, Zach. And your comments carry weight, buddy. You got enough scotch under your belt.
Talisker 10 for me currently, says Bobby J. The salt spray, the campfire on the beach, the shucking of oysters, just the bomb. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So
Robert, Talisker, yep. Everyone says Talisker. We've got a bunch of people that like the Talisker in his
Laphroaig
group.
10, Alejandro.
And we're passing that one.
Too bad it was on the screen.
Okay, so
All right, so talk about the
Right.
gold.
I haven't done gold yet.
listen, I'll admit, at least in my mind, I think I know which one's which. I don't care about that. I
about
appreciate
it.
the gold. I actually think right now the gold, the first drink on the palate, I have a very sandalwood cedar flavor going down the center of the palate. It's not that heavy black creosote that I got on the nose. There's a much more softer, lightly spiced note, like I said, a cedar note that really just runs down the middle. It's enjoyable. It's approachable. It's easy to drink.
There's quite a bit going on with that, actually.
It's a good layered whiskey.
The flavor is just
There-
so potent. It's
The
like,
bitter,
boom!
the bitter coffee, like black coffee leather on
Mhm.
that, with a little bit of sweetness up front, leathery, smoky peat at the end,
See,
and it actually is a little briny, a little bit of salt too.
and sweet. I'm getting there's the sweetness and the peatiness balance out on the finish. Just long, it'll last forever.
They're different. They're definitely different.
Oh, no question.
But they're both delicious.
I would agree with you on that.
They're both delicious.
I think they're very different in their
okay,
intent.
so I think we need to put some water on both these to see where they go. But right off the bat, I will say this. I think that this is a much closer bout than I was expecting. All right. I really expected there to be very drastic differences, and it would have been
Thanks, Pat.
this one was suggesting it was really outnumbered. Talisker's holding in the fight here. It definitely belongs in this conversation. This is a
Well,
really
you're
good
saying you know
match.
what they are.
No, it doesn't matter which one's which.
Yours doesn't matter, right? You're
I
right. They're
think
both toe to toe at this point.
Yes, I think this
I
is
agree.
a really good fight.
I agree. I actually, I was a little shocked when we were looking at these bottles and it was commented like a few times.
Right.
Talisker. I've forgotten. I really have. I've forgotten how good Talisker 10 is.
I haven't had a bottle of this in
It's probably been at least a couple of years.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've forgotten, and I'm gonna tell you when we bought this, and I put it, we put the thumbnail together, and I was like, I'm not sure it's gonna handle Laphroaig very well, but it's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm appreciating it. So did we get water on these yet? I want to
No.
do one more quick palate without water.
Man, they're both great. I would say the black glass it feels like a more refined whiskey. I think the gold glass has richer individual flavors, and they do carry through each phase of the palate into the finish. And quite honestly, if you're looking for potency of flavor, the gold glass is it. It will outpower anything. It has richer flavor by far.
It's got it's deeper.
Yes.
I'll give you that. It's deeper.
Deeper sweetness.
Oh, sweetness.
Yeah, well, it's got like the ruby fruits and the ashiness, the
That's
peatiness
delicious.
that really kicks in.
I don't know.
What you thought?
I really like the. I feel like there's a pretty big difference here on like I agree with you on depth of the gold glass, right? It's got it's got more substance and peat and the bitterness in like
wood,
Isla, charring, all that stuff. But this is right there with it. But I feel like this is balanced really well.
Oh, absolutely.
With the caramels, the sweets, the peat, the smoke, the
So you're talking about
brininess.
the black glass.
I'm talking the black glass.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, I'm getting pear through the center of the palate.
There's
on
some
the
fruits
black
going
glass.
on with that. Yeah, man, this is tough. Remember, and what we enjoy tonight.
Yeah. So do we have? So I'm trying to wash a little bit.
Same here.
I'm
washing that palate off.
because they're very different whiskeys, and they will absolutely influence each other's flavor.
Let's take another look.
Sure, they will.
Cam.
Let's give this water a couple seconds on here to open them up. Now, Mary, to point out, they're both under 46, so I did not put much water on them at all. I was pretty light on it. I'm not trying to water these down to ruin them, but I do think that it'll open it up a wee bit.
So in the engineering world, we know that mixing is a sometimes difficult thing to do. So you got to try different techniques to make sure the mixing is.
I talk to Dr. Scotch too much. we got to talk about that after this, by the way. Let's not forget.
Yes.
Lee says, which do you get the most brine from? They both have brine for sure. I think the black does.
I think black does.
I think black.
Not
has
with water. Dude, you hit the water on that, it's like it smells like an ocean.
Which one?
The gold.
You put water in both?
I did.
Yeah.
They're both watered down.
No.
Just a wee bit.
Let's start with the black on this. Well, start again with the black after water.
Nose is
No.
It's floral now. I didn't have floral before.
Ooh.
Like daisies, dandelions.
I didn't know Daisy smelled.
I don't like this smell of dandelions. They're weeds.
They're great bee food though.
They're good in salads. Not the flower, but
not as sweet. But I think it's a little bit more leathery. It has a little bit more bitterness now than it did before.
It honestly has a more Highland feel to it.
You taste it.
I'm not gonna taste it. Come on.
You're not. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we? Did you palate it?
Yeah, I did.
So it looks like people want a little farther back image of that.
All right. The boss has spoken. I'll pull him back.
I don't know, man. With water, that black is just.
It's right. It's pretty good.
Wow.
I like the balance. Of the black.
With that water on that glass right now, I want to go out and start a fire in your fire pit and call off work tomorrow and finish whatever bottle that is. That's what I'm saying. Get Bobby H out here and make us some bacon on that fire pit. because I know he'd do it.
All right, give me that black.
The black or the gold?
Or I mean
We
the
have-
gold,
Yeah,
sorry.
I was gonna say we need to get into that gold and see what's up. Have at it.
Yeah, the water definitely brought up the sweetness in the black glass. Yep, I agree with you on
Wow,
that.
this is, oh my gosh, this is oilier now than it was.
Oh, really?
Uh-oh.
So that's interesting.
Wow,
Keep
a
it
lot
on the dram
oilier.
cam. There's no lag on that.
Oh, really?
Well, that's because there's no audio on the
Well, no, I mean, maybe there's issue with the
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 codec,
camera.
the HD, the new.
well,
The new camera.
we'll just come down here.
So,
So we're gonna talk.
I like the. I think the gold glass is better, but I don't know. I don't know.
You're a dark.
Yes.
Which one's gonna win here, man? Oh, honestly, I think this
Yeah.
one's got a much more seaweedy. It's got more of
It
an
does- it
ocean
does.
vegetative, you know,
Okay.
like
But yeah,
like-
seaweed
like-
for
like-
sure. It mean the water didn't help it on the palate as much. It mulled down some of those other flavors that I was getting earlier. Like there's no coffee, black coffee in it
Yeah,
anymore at
I'm
all.
definitely getting veg on the nose.
it did make it one dimensional. Damn it.
It is very. I think it's actually brinier now than it was.
Mhm,
That's interesting.
by far.
Mm.
Took a lot of the sweetness out. You definitely get more of the sea character, the seaweed, the veg, the brine.
I got my winner. I'm good.
Yep.
I know what I'm doing. Some of y'all won't be happy with this one, but
All righty.
yep.
One more sip of black.
Do it.
I am going with shocker.
Dun dun dun. Wait until he finishes his sample here. No influence.
Let's go back.
Do,
To,
do, 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 do,
This is
do, do. All right.
going with black tonight for me. I really like them both a lot. I think both of them were a little weaker on the water side. I think the water at the end of the day balanced better in the black than it did in the gold.
Sure.
But both neat had a lot of promise, and yeah, it's I'm tit for tat here on the mood on each one, like because the gold did have a deeper kind of bitterness to it, more of like coffee. They both had brine. I felt like the black was just for my palate tonight a smoother. Penalized. It was a well balanced dram for me from beginning to end. Nose, I feel like we're in boxing round. I feel like round, 1 point here, 1 point, like really close.
Yep.
But I'm gonna give the edge to black tonight, and I feel like he got the winner.
That's it. I can't say anything much more than that. I honestly appreciated the palette on black a little bit more. Standing alone, I think there was a great fight here. I think they both were wonderful whiskeys, very approachable, very enjoyable on their own merit. I do think that water hurt the gold a little
It
bit
did.
more. I think that was if I was judging the boxing match and I'm looking for something to ding somebody on, water made gold trip just a little bit. Didn't quite hit the canvas, but stuttered. Lost his footing just a wee bit, and that was enough for me to say black got a stinger in. So I'm going to go black.
I feel like gold threw more punches, but these landed more.
Exactly. I mean, 10-9.
That's actually a great
score. Andrew Rockabrandt.
That's a great analogy because I'm looking at Talisker. I'm looking at the gold glass. So the gold glass has more dimensions of flavor. It's got sweetness. It's got oak. It's got great peatiness. It has brine in there. It has all these characters that are really tasty and neat. They just punch out all over the place, but they're not as well blended together. So you do kind of have this kind of integral fight. The black glass doesn't have the overall sweetness. It has a lighter sweetness. It's not like a deep fruit sweetness. I get less oak on it. I quite honestly get less peat in it. And it's a more refined whiskey. It tastes clean. It tastes flavorful. It's exquisite. So I'm gonna have to go with the black as well because it's just a better balanced
Wow.
whiskey.
I
It's a
didn't see
tough
that
call.
coming.
Neat. I probably would have gone with the gold glass. Arguably, it's still a little bit tough,
It's unanimous. That's
but it
pretty
is
good.
unanimous. So the black is a better whiskey.
I have no idea. Do you have a cheat sheet somewhere?
Before I do anything, I
Do you
want
have
to
a
say
idea?
hi to this man. I was on his show
Holy
last week. I said hi.
moly!
Hey,
It's
Talisker.
been a long time. This guy was on from the very beginning of our show.
Yes. he
Got
was.
his own YouTube
He
channel
does.
and still rocking it out. And if you guys ever joined his channel way back when, I'm talking early days, he didn't have many bottles of whiskey.
Oh, he's
and
got lots of bottles now. I saw
that
Yeah.
guy's got a collection. Knows his
He was doing-
whiskey.
I think it was Edward Hour last
Tune
week.
in. Excellent on giving perceptions and palate
Analysis,
and
yeah.
nose analysis.
We met him in New York
Yes.
too, didn't we?
We did.
Yes.
Yeah. We found out
He
one a
is.
couple times.
He's definitely
Good man.
good man.
All right. So you guys want to know the winner?
Yes.
Tell us.
Which one's which?
Is it really hard to figure out? I mean, if you
Just-
guys don't know this,
Tell us.
Just tell us. I'm not gonna.
put the goal where you think it is. You guys, really? You're right. Of course it is. I mean, yes. Talisker wins.
That Talisker is an exquisite whiskey.
I
Flipping-
forgot how good it was.
It's not as flavorful as the
Wow.
Laphroaig 10,
Are you
but it's better put together.
effing kidding me? I'm really, really, really shocked. I mean,
Pour
it
some more.
happens. That's the world of boxing, right? A new champ comes along, and you're like, man, that dude's never going down. And then the next fight, he hits the canvas, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, that surprised me a little bit too because I
The
remember
winner.
from what the winner.
The wiener.
What I remember from the Ardbeg challenge was that the Laphroaig had a better balance together. It was put together better. It had kind of a more broad flavor profile. It just was I thought of it to be a better whiskey. And that's why I was confused, which is Talisker, because the black glass was all balanced and linear, but I should have known better with the sherry cast for the Laphroaig and all that kind of stuff.
So let's talk about
Yeah.
Talisker. I honestly, in my own opinion, I coming in, I didn't think it really stood a chance. Okay. I know that it
didn't
was
either.
a suggestion, and I was like, you know what, 10-year price point, ABV, they're all similar. I thought as far as the peated profile, this thing's going to get its ass whipped. I mean, it's not going to come in and be able to fight this fight. Ironically enough, this is the distillery that was our first review. We did a
Yeah.
distiller's edition. That was our
Distiller's
Distillers. Yeah,
and,
you're right.
and I mean, obviously, we haven't come back to it that often. I remember doing a flight of Taliskers together. This is way early.
Yeah, I was
Long
out of that one. Yeah.
That was good.
We did a Talisker Storm, an 18, 25, and 30. Storm was decent. 18 was pretty stinking good. 25 took a shit in the bed, and none of us liked it. And then 30 was delicious, right?
It's the truth.
And we were like, how does
It's
a
the
whiskey
truth.
go from 18 being pretty good? You're like, wow, this is great. 25, oh, I can't drink it. To 5 more years later, oh, this is great.
Yeah, that I'm sure there's a lot more to it now, but that one stuck with us for years. It's
Different
tremendous.
grain.
But it's not like I've had a bottle of Talisker 10 on my bar in
But
years.
Talisker's got quite a bit out there. The Storm is kind of like their.
Been around for a
it's been
while.
around for a while, and it's like their entry, no name,
Mhm.
no age.
Yeah,
It's like what, probably $45 now. I mean, probably maybe a little more than that.
probably a
now.
little more than that now.
Probably 55,
Good
I bet.
whiskey.
But I am extremely happy we did this. Whoever suggested this one, good job.
So
Yep.
let's talk about some similarities from their locations, right? Obviously, Iowa. This is Skye. How many are you familiar with Skye? Where's Skye? It's
More north.
literally- Yep, it's the island
It's
north, right?
The other region.
Well, no,
couple.
you've got Jura and then Skye. I
Yeah,
believe.
it's pretty far north on Scotland. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely maybe 100 miles or more north, but both islands. And definitely going to have more of a briny coastal note, and they both showed through on that tonight. Damn, I'm surprised. I'm really
Well, we've
surprised.
got a
it stood up.
couple. We've got a couple people saying Laphroaig 10,
Yeah.
and
Woo.
I haven't done Laphroaig in probably the same amount of time. To be
Wowzer,
honest, with you. It's been years for
We should
that
be able to get
too.
that around here.
I don't. It's harder to find. You have to go Total Wine.
Laphroaig is
Probably
definitely a little
find.
bit harder to find.
But anyway,
We'll find a
if
way.
you're still watching, obviously live, if you're watching the replay, comment again. Like, what should we do? What Talisker 10 is the winner? What
Yeah.
should we put it against? Laphroaig 10 is obviously in the running at this point, but curious to see what you guys say.
So I did pick up another bottle already. So when the suggestions in this category, this came through, and this was another suggestion. So if we don't hear any other suggestions come through when on contender number 1 to take on the champ, this will be it right here.
That's not going to be fair.
Port Charlotte 10,
Heavily peated.
heavily peated.
This was also suggested to play against the Laphroaig, so it technically could go against the 10 here, the Talisker.
Right now, this one's been climbing through the ranks. Now, this was what was suggested. So this is the only one we've got to go against this, unless somebody else comes up with something better or more appropriate. This one does fit the profile.
Yeah.
It does fit the category. I mean, it's 50% ABV, so it's coming in. It's definitely going to punch a little harder. I think it's going to be more heavily peated. But as far as profile and age,
Well, when we're doing this, obviously we've got 3 profiles we're all tasting here, but we're trying to get the most well balanced. We're looking for things, right? Something hitting the sweet spot, not just about the peat, not just about the fruit, not just about the sherry, whatever it is. We're trying to figure out of the 2 tonight, what is really hitting all the sweet spots.
Mm-hmm.
And Talisker was it tonight.
Talisker was it. I would agree. I was a bit surprised, but I'm glad we did it. It was really good. Now, I will say that Laphroaig 10 makes an excellent old fashioned. It has enough potency of flavor to really get through all the sweetness of an old fashioned and just make a great drink. So
Oh, look at
that's
this.
something to consider as well.
I haven't seen too many people from Japan. Welcome.
hot
welcome.
damn.
That's awesome.
I love the picture too.
That's
That's a
cool.
great profile picture.
Yeah. We've got a lot of people saying PC is going to kill it.
Yeah, I would
Laphroaig
agree.
10's on the shelf at Benny's. So
I'll see if I can find a plastic peated handle. We'll see if we
P10,
can put that against
P10,
it.
yeah.
I mean, it's fair.
Log
If
eight.
it does, it does. That's the point of this. We're definitely
Yeah.
and the more I think about the whole setup, does one that's been beaten ever get a chance to come back? If I'm trying to,
No.
it's
Not
hard.
this year.
Not in this year, because really
We had too many.
the goal here is at some point in time, everyone, we're going to take all the categories that we do have: peated, sherry, blended, Highlands, whatever, Irish. We're going to put all those together, let's say in October-ish, and we're going to start battling them against each
Ooh.
other. And at the end, come December, that's Scotch for Dummies Whiskey of the Year.
What?
There you go. Then, I mean, it earned the title. It
Yeah, for
fought
sure.
its way through the year, as opposed to us just looking at. We used to do it is we would all do our own homework,
Mhm.
go back and look at our reviews for the year,
When we call one.
and what's your
Yeah.
top 5, and but we don't do nearly as many reviews. Oh, I hear you. I know you want one. We've got some lined up. But nevertheless, I like this because in this format, the whiskey actually fights its way to the top. It earns its right.
It's
With,
exactly
with
right,
a consistent palate, consistent people, it's 1-to-1.
It's
head to
unbiased
head.
too, to some degree, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
we
we're trying to be at least.
Yeah.
Not going into it thinking, now if you put Deanston 20 in this mix, it's going to beat everything. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Nah, it wasn't for me.
Can you get it on the shelf?
No,
Can't compete.
can't compete.
Nope.
So that's the other rule too, is if you're commenting and you're still watching, number one, hit the like button. That's the number one thing. Hit the
Oh,
like
Jamie,
button
look
right
at
now.
those.
It's so huge for us. But
What about
Wow.
Smokehead?
we're trying to buy
There's some
things.
suggestions out here.
We're trying to buy some things that are on the shelf. and
Ben
compare
Riek,
it.
Ben Romick, Log 8, Colila 12.
What about
I mean-
Smokehead? I mean, it's not a single malt, but
It's a
It's
blend.
a blend.
Of malt, malts.
I think that one,
it's affordable too.
and it's out
It's
there.
out there. And
available.
there's actually quite a few smoke kids, right?
Yeah, those are something to consider. We may
I think
have
we
to
got
consider,
one
we may
at
have to think
Sean's
about
bar.
that.
So Ben Riek 10, I might have that on my bar. I picked up some Ben Rieks over the last 6 years and just put them down in the bunker. And they're just down there
They're
collecting
bunkered.
dust. They're in the dark. They're like mushrooms growing.
The
And,
bunker.
I need to go and see what I've got. But these are some great suggestions. There's definitely, Here's the problem. I'll be honest. I'm going to go and take these suggestions and see what is available.
Yeah.
Now, we're willing to stretch that a wee bit because with the availability of Central Indiana is
Indiana
not
isn't
quite
great.
that good. But if Benromic 10 is a sample provided to us by who? Alejandro had already sent. Was he the one that made that suggestion?
No, he didn't suggest. Oh, yeah, he did again.
Ben Roman 10. He did. Oh, that sucker.
Well played, Alejandro. Well played.
Yep.
Island Bet, yeah. Let's see how Lee is doing here, guys.
Yes, we need to go back and talk about Scotch on the Bayou.
Scotch on the Bayou needs a
So
couple hundred more.
yes, let's.
So-
So we talked about her 1 year, and we talked
I got a couple
about
more.
how
We got a few
excited
more.
we are that she's made it a year, and she's really going and good. But let's talk about what she's got going on in the pipeline. She's got some incredible stuff lined up, right? Number one, she's really a big advocate of her local whiskey community. She belongs to a couple of different organizations, whether they're bourbon or they're whiskey
She does
organizations.
a lot.
She's involved, right? Heavily involved. I know she's planning another trip to Scotland. I'm not sure it's going to happen this year. I think she really wants it to. We'll see. But you need to be on the lookout for that. What else did she say on Tuesday that she's got? There was one or two other things that I was really excited about hearing that she's really got, kind of in the works, in the pipeline.
Yeah, she got more campgrams going where she will sit with a glass of whiskey at the camp and talk through it.
Which is awesome. It's a perfect.
so
invention.
She's a lot of do-it-yourself stuff too. She's doing lots
Yeah.
of really cool. Like she's got a smelling kit that's out there. One of her cool things is how to pack your own Glencairn glass. So she's very creative on that remark.
Yep.
So
I'll just say this: the camp drams and stuff. If you guys have an opportunity to tune in while she's live, do it, because she's one of the best people in the world to sit down and have a dram with.
Yep. She's a good time.
and if you're a
Good time.
patron, she's on the after show and pre-show
All the time,
so.
absolutely, and always sharing really good information. Love her husband. She's wonderful people. Go check out Scotch on the Bayou. Let's talk about the other future Scotch or King of the Hills and what we've got going on.
Okay.
So everybody made suggestions for tonight.
So
Obviously,
we'll go
this is
through
the champ.
those and
What else? Who are the other current champs?
Well, we've got the Sherry Bomb.
Well, if you go out to our drive and pull it up, it's out there.
You got it out there?
Yeah, it's easy to look up on the drive. We do have a few other categories, one of which is Irish. So right now, the
Irish.
current sherry, 12-year-old sherry category, and it doesn't necessarily have to be 12-year-old. But we're talking about
that's where
sherry.
we started.
We
Heavy
want to
right.
keep it as close as possible to all the variables.
Right. The current one is Tamdhu 12. It started off with Glendronach 12 versus McKellen 12. Glendronach won that bout. It was close,
No.
but won it.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And then the next fight, Tamdhu stepped in the ring with Glendronach, and to my surprise,
That was a shocker too.
I was blown away, guys. I'm a huge Glendronach fan, and I shed a tear. But Tamdhu earned it, and it did. So Tamdhu 12 is the current
That's
king
right.
of that hill.
Yep.
We have an Irish.
We do have an Irish. The first bout was Green Spot versus Red Breast 12.
Red Best.
Red Breast 12. I think
Killed it.
I think it did. That really
That
was.
that was a complete surprise. I remember doing that one.
I don't think it was. I think it was more of a beatdown than I thought it was going to be. In my mind. Now the only suggestion we have on that one is Yellow Spot, which
That's
fair
not
enough.
fair.
I mean, is it not? I don't know. But we're looking for sherry suggestions. Tamdhu doesn't have a contender right now, so speak up on that.
Speaking of suggestions,
We're updating the spreadsheet right now.
you got to put Laphroaig in there if we can get it.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is, I think pretty soon here, Mark is going to finish up this spreadsheet, and then we're going to share it out, and we're going to do some polls. So if you're watching as well, we're going to put some polls out there for you guys to vote on each week. So
on YouTube?
hopefully on YouTube, yeah.
YouTube,
So
yeah.
we're going to start doing this ahead of time so that you all can be part of this and vote for what should be in the next head-to-head. And here's a list of 4 or 5 different bottles. That way we can also, because to be honest, we have to go procure some of these.
Yeah.
Some of these aren't as readily available in our area, and I realize they're readily available elsewhere. So we're willing to include them, but that means we've got to procure them, and that's a little bit hard. It takes a little bit more time. So we're working on that. But I did see some other comments. Yes, I agree. You know, a Glendro 15 against. We'll scroll up on that comment. It was somebody suggested Glendro 15 against Tamdu 15. Yeah, that would be a great. It's a different category right now.
No, but bring that up because
12s.
that brings up
This
something
one?
we need to also talk about. Pre-chill filter.
Go for it.
So,
Ooh, yeah.
I've been talking to Dr. Scotch,
Perfect lead in.
and Dr. Scotch has an idea for a video, and that video includes chill filtration.
And this is super freaking cool.
So, what Dr. Scotch is talking about is doing multiple ways of doing chill filtration at your home. So, what Dr. Scotch needs is some information on what would you recommend as readily available whiskeys that are non-chill filtered that would be interesting to try chill filtration on. So we could do what the plan is. You filter one at room temperature, and then you freeze a section of it and filter it again. And so you have filtered at room temperature and you have chill filtered of the same whiskey. They've both gone through the same filter, but one was cold when it did it. So we can really detect what the differences are between that chill filtration process. A couple ways to do it. One, you can use a coffee filter. We'll try that. But then you can try a 0.2 micron button filter with syringes and stuff to really get a true filtration of really fine particles.
But your goal is with Dr. Scotch is to actually do this live, and for us, or for some of it live at least.
Yeah.
And then and that's tasty.
So the intention is we'll do video and background and B-roll and stuff about the process that goes through it. But the final test is the dummies will go through those chill filtered and non-chill filtered samples and see if they can tell a difference. So what we'll do is we'll actually do a double blind, whereas my wife will actually go through and label each bottle and put it in an envelope. So the two bottles look the same at room temperature. She'll put a 1-on-1, and that's a chill filtered one, and one of the others non-chill filtered, and then we'll go through and we'll taste them. And so so one of the things, we've got a couple that are suggestions for whiskeys. We've got an Ardbeg, we've got Glendronach, which we could try. But if you have other ones that are, and what we'd like to do is a really light floral, something that doesn't have a lot of heavy flavor in it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll be able to detect the mouthfeel more in that one.
I think it's a really interesting topic because I hope that when we do it too, we really go over what it is and what people. I think there's a lot of people still like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, we'll go through all that detail as part of the information behind it.
There's also a lot of bias now. A lot of people literally see those words on the label.
Like, I don't want that. I don't want chill filter.
But it will be good for them on that side of the camera to see us go through this. But also one thing you said was like having B-roll. So if they want to do it themselves at home.
Yes. That's
how did we get to this experiment?
I mean, if you're not looking at it, it's going to be hard to tell.
I mean, even if all you've got is coffee filters, that's better than nothing. You can try this.
I've chill filtered Ardbeg, and I can't tell on the bottles on the counter which one's chill filtered.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know that it really.
Even after you've added water.
But that's a whole debate. That's a whole conversation.
I know, but that's the point, isn't it? I gotta think about
so
this.
chill filtration is designed to pull out proteins and fats and things.
So it doesn't cloud at all.
But at room temperature, you can't tell.
Right.
So I want to see all of it. I want to see the room temperature
really
one that's not chill filtered and watch it cloud and be like, all right, now chill filter it, and now put it through and be like, oh, somebody's doing cloud.
Dr. Scotch will have to put a poll out there as Dr. Scotch and get some suggestions.
So if you have any comments here as well, Craig, like 13.
Everybody's putting suggestions. I'm gonna have to go through these comments and
please do. We'll go through that.
But that's a really good video, and it's fun because it's educational. I'll learn something, and I'll be excited to go through it. Hey, and this last 5 minutes, why don't you switch back to the other mics and see if anybody says anything. I'm curious to know if just the sync issue is StreamYard.
I think it's StreamYard. I don't think it's us. I really don't. Based on what I'm seeing with both these mics, especially when we went to the other camera. I mean, it could be this camera too. It could be that having issues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now we're just to the Rode mic.
All right. We'll maybe hopefully the audio changed a little bit on you. But anyway, I'm excited about that video with Dr. Scotch because I think I'll learn something about it. It just seeing it firsthand, feeling, being like, oh wow, okay, that's when things really stick. They really kind of hit home.
Right.
We'll do it.
So there we go. New King of the Hill, Talisker 10. We are going to probably put the Talisker 10 on the side and try to find a sherry competition for our current Tamdu 12.
Bring proper 12 out for Irish.
No.
I don't know about all
It's probably
that,
not fair.
but we do need to find out. I mean, I would like to find some other Irishes that could compete against Redbreast 12.
And that's where we
than
need your
a
help.
Spot.
We know Scotches pretty well, but Irish and maybe some bourbons would be kind of cool.
Oh.
Bourbon King of the Hill.
I mean,
we don't
could
have a
do
Bourbon King of the Hill.
You need to
Hill,
call
and-
Mash and Drum.
But
He'll
yeah,
like put
we
the whole
definitely need some
bracket together.
assistance because our category
We
might
don't
be a
know
bit
anything
off.
about that, so we
Yeah.
need some handheld. But
But yes, fortunately for Talisker 10, I think it's going to sit on the top of the hill for a couple weeks because we got other categories that
Yep,
we need to work,
we'll
and
do
that's fair.
I think we'll pour one more glass of this, and we'll say cilantro to everybody. How about that?
And move over to a little patron post show. If you're not a patron and you want to talk to us on Zoom, that's how you do that. We're there every Thursday before and after our show. But that's
show.
also where we do some other fun stuff with everybody, and we really get some ideas and allow the patrons to be a part of the creative process of the show. So anyway,
Talisker
10. Scotch on the Bayou. If you're not subscribed, go get subscribed. Happy
We'll see you next
Thursday.
time.
Man, that was fun, guys. Damn.
Cheers.
Talisker.
Cheers all.
3, 2, 1.